And it's crunch time here on The Jump. Kobe Bryant was asked by CNN if a woman could someday play in the NBA. He said, quote, there are a couple players who could play in the NBA right now. He named Diana Taurasi, Maya Moore, Elena, Delle, Donne as examples. Now, T-Mac, Kobe has 4 daughters. He has no sons. Is he just trying to get Gigi in the league here? Come on.
Yeah, he is. I do appreciate Kobe naming those 4 guys because they can hoop. But I just like, I like to see them playing against other women and making the WNBA what it is today and continue to make the progression on that league.
That's exactly right. The comparison just doesn't have to be to men all the time.
Yeah.
It could be about the league that it is.
That league is on a good run.
It's on, absolutely on the come up. All right, the Mavs lost big man Dwight Powell to a season-ending Achilles injury last night. This was hard to watch. And Trace, you could tell right away, right? They confirmed it that it's a full rupture, but you could see it.
Yeah, I've seen too many of these injuries, and, when it's non-contact, you already know. It's either ACL or it's an Achilles, and you just hate to see that.
Unfortunately, this had the same Durant where you could see it on his leg.
All right, so what did the Mavs do? Because he was such a key
the Mavericks
part of their...
have been out there looking for different types of players. They have trade assets. Because Porzingis has been unreliable health-wise this year, they may not have to examine the market for a big man.
Look, this is a little bit what we expected from Porzingis, right? I mean, the first year back from a 20-month layoff, like Paul George, like Gordon Hayward, that's what you're going to get from him.
He's got knee soreness, so I'm worried about that.
We'll see what happens with Jusuf Nurkic because Damian Lillard telling reporters that Nurk took part in full practice today. And again, he's another one where I would say don't get too excited because we don't know what he's going to be like when he comes back. But still, he is such an emotional part of that team. What would that mean to the Blazers?
That'll mean a lot if he can play some consistent minutes. I mean, he's going to help Dame and Melo and CJ and those boys because they really need help in that interior with Collins being out, Whiteside really being the only big they have. So I'm sure.
A little dig at Russell Westbrook on that shirt, if you don't remember.
They've been waiting for this for a long time because once Zach Collins went down, they were so depleted in the front court. This is their big move. Their big move is getting Nurkic. And this is why I don't know about the Pelicans. Because with Nurkic coming back, that changes the game now.
Hey, look, the Arizona Cardinals receiver extraordinaire, Larry Fitzgerald, has bought a minority stake in the Phoenix Suns. He is now the second active NFL player with an NBA ownership share. Of course, Aaron Rodgers has a stake in the Bucks. You like this, Tracy?
I love seeing athletes getting some stake in franchises, but I also love seeing black athletes getting stake in franchises. So, kudos.
There's only a handful of former players who have had stakes in teams, which is surprising, but Robert Sarver has been leaning on Larry Fitzgerald the last couple of years.
Give me some money.
Possibly to help him increase his Q rating in Phoenix.
As I say, there is no one more popular in that state than Larry Fitzgerald.
I think that's a smart move. I think this is not just a smart move for Larry, it's a smart move for Robert Sarver.
Right. Also says something that the NFL players that we just mentioned investing in NBA teams. Just saying. Back to the East, where there are some surprises in the standings. Tonight on ESPN, the Raptors hosting the Sixers, 7 o'clock Eastern. And a surprise for some, the Raptors lead the Sixers in the standings, not the people of Toronto. Going into tonight's matchup, the Raptors are holding the 3rd seed, while the Sixers are in the 5th seed. There's only one game, actually, between them, Brian. Who do you think is a better bet? If you had to say one of these teams is coming out of the East, which one would you bet on?
Well, Philly has more talent. And you would say that in a series you would favor Philly. That said, the Raptors have been so good this year, despite having a lot of injuries of their own. And, if I was Toronto or Miami, I would be wondering, is there a move out there that I could make that could elevate my chances? I think Denver is in this position in the West because I think the 2 LA teams will be better next year than they are now.
Right.
And I think in the East, Toronto and Miami have.
They're looking at the Sixers and saying, well,
the Sixers just aren't at the top of their game, and the Bucks are going to be a tall order. But if you can fight, if you can get to the conference finals and give yourself a fighting chance against the Bucks. So I'll tell you what, I think the Raptors play with a lot of confidence, and they're going to be a hard out no matter when they go.
Here's what I'll say. I like Philly because of the depth they have, the talent they have, but I don't know what their identity is.
They don't know. You can't know because they don't know.
Right. So, I mean, for the Raptors, they know who they are. That's why they are playing great basketball. They trust one another. I mean, after losing Kawhi Leonard, they still are holding it down in the Eastern Conference. Other guys have stepped up, Siakam and some of these young guys. But I just don't really trust them in the playoffs.
tell you what, if they were playing a playoff series right now, I would probably pick the Sixers. But I would bet on the Raptors because
I feel the same way.
Because the odds, where you get good odds.
You get good odds, right?
I think they'd have a really good shot.
Well, look, the Raptors, in fact, we've never seen a Finals MVP leave his team before, so there's no precedent for what Kawhi did. But the fact that he was only there for a year, to me, made the Raptors more able to bounce back from him leaving. They're like, hey, we were good without you.
Yeah.
We made the Eastern Conference Finals without you. We've done other things without you, so they could bounce back. The question when you're talking about which other teams might be able to win the East always comes down to who can play Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Bucks hard. That's it, because they are going to be there. The Bucks are going to be there. And so you have to then lean toward the team that has the size to deal with him. If they can figure out what they are doing when they play on the court together and who's going to shoot shots. If those things can happen, especially in the latter half of the fourth quarter, they would have, to me, the best shot at it, but we'll have to see.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For highlights and analysis, check out the ESPN app. And for live streaming and premium content, check out ESPN+.